Alright, so I'm going to be going over what has happened since the start of the game to, I believe it's turn 5 right now. The turn that just ended was 1938 July, so next turn is 1939 January. So basically there's one more turn of peacetime and then war breaks out. So I'm going to start left to right. I tried to get the map as close as possible as I can, and then I have some zoomed in shots down here. So I'll start with the Americas on the left first. Let's see here. I'm gonna go a little bit more maybe. Yeah, this will work. Alrighty, so the United States of America is basically just the northern half here, these tiles, and then they also consist of these tiles here, which are, I don't know if you can see my cursor, I'm assuming you can, but if you look at the right picture, all the way to the right, the two Northern American tiles are also USA. I'm pretty sure you can see my cursor. If you can't, well then this is going to be annoying. Anyways, I'll zoom back in here. So, Silver Legion of America started off with a huge navy and ended up basically wiping out the American Navy completely. America had a transport and 3 destroyers left over, whereas the Silver Legion of America had a heavy carrier with a tactical and a fighter. It had a heavy cruiser, which is basically just an elite cruiser unit, and it had a destroyer and a submarine, and a transport. Yeah, so that's what was left after that first turn. However, the Americans were able to outmaneuver the Silver Legion of America, so they were able to keep their navy that was left safe away from, the Silver Legion fleet. And the Silver Legion didn't attack hard enough at the beginning, taking tiles from America, and America just outproduced Silver Legion, which is consistent. Silver Legion's Texas right now, and then I believe it's called the Great Plains. I can double check on that. Yeah, Great Plains right here. So they are making, looks like $5 a turn, compared to America's almost making like 40. So they are on the out of the Civil War. They will most likely lose. I doubt they'll come back. And then the Communist States of America player isn't extremely experienced. Did eventually, they did wipe out the American fleet in the Pacific, but they didn't do any kind of land battles until they built up more forces, which took them a while. And now it looks like they're going to focus on defense. They're starting to build some forts. I know they have forts on the production chart, so I don't know where they're going to put that. They might be looking to attack this tile, because it's a major factory. So we probably by the end of, probably by the end of 1940, Silver Legion will be gone, and it'll just be the USA versus the CSA. With the USA getting the more amount of money compared to the CSA. So that's really what it's like for the Civil War right now. Let me zoom back in. I'll come take a look at Spain here. Oops. Let's see, this is what I want. So Spain, the Republicans won the Civil War. So all the volunteers that were still alive from France and from Russia and from Socialist Italy, which is now these yellow pieces, they went back to their capitals once the Civil War was over immediately. And, the Republican Spain player, who was France in this case, had absolutely horrible rolling compared to for the damage. However, they were lucky in the sense that there was no battles fought in these tiles and this tile. So they are making $4 a turn right now, and they were able to take the money from Spain, so they should be able to repair at least this tile for next turn. The damaged tiles still applied, just a general damaged tile, like the stock market crash, where you can't buy new pieces until you repair the damage. So, and they can't declare war on anybody until they repair their tiles, nor could they join a faction until they repair all their tiles. So, they'll be out for probably. This is next turn, so they're making what? 2, 4, 5, 6. So that'll be the next turn then. Then the next turn. So it'll probably be 2 years, 2.5 years max. So we're looking at they'll be able to join the war probably 41, 42. If they want to. They don't have a lot. They have, some land troops, but they have some navy, but they probably would wait a year to build up troops and then they'd join the war. Because they could send volunteers in the meantime. And lend-lease to a little bit of support. Let's take a look at UK. How do I do this? So UK and the puppets ended up supporting the USA heavily. You can see a British interwar fighter, a British infantry. There was another British infantry in Chicago, but that was killed. Canada sent an interwar fighter, an infantry, and artillery, but all the land units were wiped out. So it's just the fighter left. South Africa was able to get a infantry and down here. And then what else? Their transports on their way back. Australia and India have not yet sent any volunteers. They figured they'd focus more on helping UK defend from China and the Suez, because they all get some bonuses for the Suez. So if we scope over the Suez real quick, this is probably the best here, right there. So India's navy can move no farther than Gibraltar. So unless the UK wants to take a lot of heavy debuffs, but so they decided to send their whole navy to defend the Suez and some troops. There is some transports here, as you can see, that are just shipping troops over constantly. However, now they might be doing less troop movement because they have a direct border with the Ottomans. This is a Anzac interwar fighter that is being sent to the Suez. This has taken multiple turns just to move here because they don't move far. And it's hard. You have to position yourself just to move to another tile. India doesn't have much over here other than a couple militia guarding from China. China and Japan are at war. I'll get to that in a little bit. I want to keep going with the countries of Europe. Okay, so France and Germany. Germany still has a ton of troops. They haven't bought anything yet because they've been busy repairing tiles and paying off loans. But they were hit mildly, so if they were hit any less, there's a possibility they could have bought troops last turn, but they will be able to buy troops next turn, which is 1939. So that's pretty much where I'd want it for a low or medium, is the earliest of 39. France is, I don't know what France is doing. They're not looking too great. Since we changed the rules a little bit during the playtime, I ended up giving France an extra $20 because they would have rolled on their first turn instead of their third turn, which is quite a lot of money. Difference of $5 to $17. And when I mean roll, I mean rearmament rolls to increase your money. So France is at wartime right now, and they just bought 2 transports, and I'm not exactly sure what France is planning to do with 2 transports. They have 2 Marines here, but I hope France realizes once, you know, the amount of troop difference between these 2 tiles is huge. They need a, at least I would spend next turn probably just buying infantry. Well, actually they can't. Let's see. They could do infantry in 1 militia, where they could do the 5 infantry here and 1 militia there. So then when they declare war, they don't actually attack in here, but they can at least move their troops into here, because they need to somehow balance this. I mean, it looks brutal. Looks like there's some Russian troops here. Again, France looks, their air force is less than half of Germany's. Yeah, their navy's pretty big. I would like to see the French navy, helps the socialist navy because they're split up right now, and there's looks like the Ottomans, the Austrians, and the Italians have a rather nice sized combined navy. Germany still has the biggest navy in the area. Britain's. Let's go to back to Britain. Britain is building up its navy, as you can see. However, they're deciding not to build too many cruisers because that gives the Reichspakt a dollar bonus for cruisers and capital ships. So they're focusing more on air force, it looks like, as of right now. Let's go to Germany. Like I said, Germany hasn't been able to buy anything. However, they are positioning stuff for war. There's 15 land units in this tile versus France has like 6 or 7 in here, which isn't good. One thing that you're not seeing right now is the Russian player forgot to do dice rolls at the beginning of the game, and turns out that they're already at wartime income, and we fixed the money issue. So what you see right now is not a lot. They have $70 to spend next turn. So this will change dramatically. So hopefully this can relieve France a little bit. That's the only France can pray for. Russian Navy is a little bit bigger than normal because they can't place any ships in here. And that's about it. Russia. The Baltic Confederation did manage to get Finland. However, that did have Russia be pulled up to wartime income because of the peacetime dice rolls. So that probably wasn't the best idea to get Finland. However, they wanted to get Finland because they didn't want Russia to take it right away. So the Baltic Confederation can still align Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Russia, like I said, has just been trying to support as many people as it can for the Comintern. Republican Spain won. They have sent a couple of volunteers to the communist states. And it looks like they're possibly working. Oh, if I remember correctly, they researched medium tanks early, and they started producing medium tanks. So the fact that they have $70, and if they just bought medium tanks, that would be pretty insane to have that many tanks before World War II breaks out. Let's go with Socialist Italian Republic. Like I said, they did manage to get their volunteers back. I think it was just a mountain infantry that was alive. So they got that back. They're not looking too great because they have a front with Austria and fascist Italy. They did manage to buy a fighter. However, they just need to get more troops here and here. The best thing for Socialist Italy to do is to just try and survive, really. Their navy's their biggest asset, which is protecting this half from a naval invasion. So I would assume France should probably move its fleet into here, because then Rome would be protected on both sides by a navy. They do have they did buy a fighter last turn. I think I already mentioned that. Let's go to Austria. Austria has probably the second biggest military in Europe. They've just been building up their air force, and I think they did some technology research roles last turn. Let's go down to fascist Italy. They haven't been able to do much. They just finished repairing their tiles, and they've moved a lot of units from Ethiopia up that were left, mainly the Air Force. They were able to finally get that into Italy itself. Their front with France and Africa, it's not much, but if France manages to take out this part of Africa, it's another $2 or $2 to the socialist Italy. I forgot to say, socialist Italy got the Balearic Islands as a reward for helping Republican Spain, so that's an extra $1. Let's move on to the Ottomans. It's kind of split up here. I wonder if I have a picture down here at all. Yeah, here we go. Let me zoom out. Alright, so the Ottomans, I think it was 2 turns ago, finally managed, or maybe it was a turn ago, finally managed to wipe out the rebels. And in doing so, since they have another border with Russia, it's just here, this is a neutral nation, so right here. Gave Russia another role, which helped them get to wartime economy. And there hasn't been any damage by rebels here, but it has forced the Ottomans to keep their troops in these 2 tiles, leaving them extremely vulnerable to attack from UK or France, possibly, for a land invasion. They have been working on their navy. They just repaired their tiles. I think it was 2 turns ago. 1 second, let me close this door here. So they repaired their damaged tiles, and they started working on a navy. They start with a battleship in position 2, so they finished that, and I believe they built another destroyer. Anybody else in Europe? Here's a couple more close-ups. So as you can see, Austria has quite a bit of artillery, a decent-sized air force, and they will get Ukraine eventually. Russia just needs troops, really. Germany, you can even see the bigger extent of the force that France has to face, which is scary. However, if Germany was hit harder, they won't be buying troops until possibly 1940. Let's see here. This is just a bigger zoom up on the USA. Let's go back up top here. I don't have South Africa on here, but I believe they only have 2 infantry. Because they can only buy 1 unit a turn. They're not making a lot of money. India's covered. Let's go with China then. China got hit really hard with the stock market crash. They weren't able to buy any units until their declaration of war. So it's not going too well with them. However, they still have a lot of their coastal guns, which is thwarting Japan from using its navy in naval invasions. However, Japan was able to just push through here with numbers and the fact it has an air force. However, if I zoom in a little bit more here, I don't know how much more Japan will be able to push. I think there's 9 to 10 infantry in this mountain tile and an artillery piece. And Japan can only use these pieces in its air force. So it's doable, but it's also risky. They could end up losing their air force. The Japan's air force is in this tile, by the way, with 7 artillery pieces. So I have a feeling Japan will, instead of attacking this, will end up pulling back down or just attacking this tile here in general, because this factory is still safe, and they would only like end up losing maybe one tile here from these units. So China, I believe, instead of buying infantry, should have bought, aircraft, because of a house rule where aircraft, if you win a first round of combat, which is strictly just aircraft in our game, winning simply just means you have more aircraft that are they're all using interception values. For the next round, then all aircraft attack at +1. So it helps with mountain areas especially. It's easily, China has more numbers than Japan with land forces easily, and they could easily build more on the continent, especially with Japan not doing naval invasions. So I think they'll be able to last and just be a pain in Japan's side, as it usually is. Except that now it's going to be a more pain in the ass because it can build, planes and artillery, and tanks even at a much higher rate. They could even build ships too. That'd be something. Let's go to Japan. Like I said, Japan. Let me zoom out. Japan. Actually, I think I have a better picture. Here we go. Japan did move in and took the factory, so now they can build 2 land units or factory units here. They can still ship, plenty of units a turn over. They did build some marines, so it looks like they might try to do another naval invasion somewhere else where it's weak. They combine their navy basically with their transports to protect it. Air Force is still strong. They have 3 tacticals, 4 interwar, and 1 fighter. It looks like they've been doing heavy artillery, because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. They have 10 artillery in total on the board right now. So they've been doing heavy artillery. The Japanese player did manage to get improved infantry equipment, which gives all infantry +1 attack and defense right before the war started, and I believe they also got improved shipyards. The way we're doing technology now is, instead of you rolling a number and you have to get that number and above to progress, it's just as simple. You roll a number and you move up that many points. The total number of points is no different from the normal game. Like, for example, if it was 777 7, that'd be 7 times 4, so 28 points is max. And I believe that's it for those nations. Let me just do a quick double check here. I think we touched every topic. Next video will probably not be picture based. There's a new stream setup where we will see dice rolls. We'll have a close-up camera, and then we'll have a giant overview, like a satellite image. So that I can probably just cut that up and just use the stream footage. Or if you guys really like me talking about the pictures, I can continue with that. Alright, see you later guys. Bye bye.